We're setting the tone. Hi guys, it's been a minute since I made a video talking about romanticizing your life. The last one that I made was in the summer, which feels like it was like 2 weeks ago, but it was actually a while ago. It's honestly hard to believe that it's already time for a new season. I feel like summer just started and now it's all of a sudden fall. I made that video because I love romanticizing my life in the summer. I just feel like the most like myself in the summer. But with that being said, I think fall is actually one of the best times to romanticize your life. I think there are so many people who love autumn and all the change that it brings. They love the cooler weather. They like changing their clothing style, and I have to agree that there is something about fall that really brings on like the feeling of change. I think seeing the seasons change gives people a fresh start and they feel like they can make new routines and make new goals for themselves. So today we're talking about romanticizing your fall, and I'm so excited. Like I said, it's such a good season to romanticize. There's just so many opportunities, so let's get started. So the first thing that I would say you should think about is what your inspiration is for the new season. And it always sounds kind of silly when I say this, but you could really find inspiration from literally anywhere. It could be movies, it could be TV shows, it could be a book, it could be a person, it could be a specific goal that you have, something that you're working towards, but it's something that's going to get you excited enough. So personally for me this fall, I feel like I'm taking a lot of inspiration from Gilmore Girls, Pretty Little Liars, Gossip Girl, specifically like Spencer from Pretty Little Liars, Rory Gilmore, Blair Waldorf. I personally have a lot of goals and things that I really want to work on this fall. So I know I want that energy of like putting my head down, doing the work, being the person who like stays up late and gets their work done. That's the energy I want to bring into this fall. Blair Waldorf or Rory, I feel like they just know what their goals are and they're going out and getting them. And I really want to be like that this fall. So once I have my inspiration kind of figured out, I like to break that down a little bit and figure out what the kind of daily routine is. For example, maybe you're in school right now and you know that you wake up every single morning really early and you have to do your whole routine and get ready and go to school, and it's kind of something that you dread. Maybe you start waking up 20-30 minutes earlier and you go upstairs every morning and you know that you're gonna have a special little seasonal coffee drink that you make with your special creamer or cinnamon on top. You put it in a cute little mug that has pumpkins on it or whatever it is. You know that you're gonna sit down at your kitchen table and watch Gilmore Girls while you drink your coffee and have your breakfast for that 15-20 minutes, and you know it's gonna start your day on the right note. You're gonna watch the sun come up and then you're gonna go start your day. I find that it's little things like that where you put your intention and turn the little things into the big things. Maybe you know you really wanna start running this fall, so you make a playlist that has all the best like fall running songs on it, and you know that every single night you're gonna play that playlist and go run outside, see all the fall foliage, having a moment for yourself where you're going for a run and you're taking care of yourself, and you know that's kind of your me time at night. There's so many ways to romanticize your routine. You just have to be really intentional and make all the small things the big things. Like I said, I'm gonna keep repeating that because I feel like that's the biggest lesson in romanticizing your life. Coffee is just a drink until you turn it into your morning coffee where it's your me time. Going for a run can be kind of dreadful until you think about the fact that you get to listen to music and see all the leaves change and watch the season kind of move through itself. It's really a mindset when it comes down to it. It's how you look at things and your interpretation of them and the intention you put into it. I think I said that a few times, but it's a good point. Okay, the next step to romanticizing your fall is creating your space. Make it cozy. You can do that with mood lighting, you can do candles, you can do blankets, you can do like decorations for fall. It can be whatever you want it to be, but the important part is that we're gonna be spending so much more time inside. The days get shorter, it gets darker out earlier. Autumn is really a transition from spending a lot of time outside to slowly moving more inside, and I find that I do the best when I have a space that I find really cozy and relaxing. Mood lighting for me is personally one of the things that I find most important. I love to have candles. I love to have different warm lights in my room. I have a salt lamp on my bedside table. I use light bulbs that are a little bit more of a warm light. I also have lights around my bed that I like to turn on into like an orangey kind of color. Obviously candles as well. I have one lit right here. Usually in the fall also I decorate my room a little bit for autumn. I change out the blanket on my bed to like an autumn one. Bring out like pumpkin candles like this one. I have a little pumpkin pillow that I have on my bed that's from Target. I even have a little autumn leaf garland that I usually put around my bed because it's a poster bed. It genuinely can be anything, but I do think it's important to invest in your space and make it a cozy place that you enjoy being. Another thing that I always love doing in general, but especially in the fall, is making Pinterest boards and making Spotify playlists. I'm pretty much on Pinterest every single day. I have so many private boards for different vibes and aesthetics or like ideas that I had. I currently have my fall Pinterest board going. I pin to it literally every single day. I think it helps to be constantly thinking of ways to romanticize your life. Pinterest for me is a really good way to find that inspiration. It sounds really silly, but I actually get so much inspiration from the smallest little weird pictures on Pinterest. Like there'll be a picture of a mug of coffee in front of a window or something, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I need to change my whole life to fit that picture. And that doesn't really make a lot of sense, but it makes sense to me. So I love Pinterest because of that. And when I feel unsure or like I'm lacking motivation, I just go on Pinterest and I'll spend like an hour on there, and all of a sudden I feel like I'm a new person and I'm ready to go and I have ideas. So I really recommend making a fall Pinterest board of things and ideas and motivation for you. because then you can always look back at it when you're feeling discouraged. I also feel like music is a huge part of life for me and something that really motivates me and influences like my thoughts a little bit. So depending on my mood, if I turn on a certain playlist, I know that I'm gonna feel motivated, or if I turn on a different playlist, I know that I'm gonna feel really calm. So for the changing seasons, I like to start finding new Spotify playlists or making my own. I've honestly found a lot of good ones. These are some of my favorite Spotify playlists that I've been putting on lately when I'm baking, or when I'm getting ready in the morning, or when I'm going for a walk. Putting on music literally makes you feel like you're in a movie, especially if it's the right song. The right song can change my entire mood, and I'm not ashamed of that. Next thing is creating a fall bucket list, and this is something that I actually find so helpful in the fall, because one of the things that usually happens to me in the autumn is I start to retreat back into my house a little bit too much. So creating a fall bucket list and deciding that I'm gonna go out and try to do one of these things like at least every weekend really helps me get out of the house and also just enjoy the season so much more. Like, you could embrace autumn by going to the cider mill and getting some cider and donuts with your friends and having a little photo shoot. I love to people watch, so seeing everybody out, little families coming on the weekend, they've been walking around town and they go up to the cider mill and they grab their little cider and donuts, and there's little kids running around. It's just so fun and peaceful and wholesome to me, and it's the little things that add to your life. Like I said, I know that that's an item on my bucket list for sure, is going to the cider mill. Me and my sisters have already talked about how we want to ride our bikes into town and then go to the cider mill, grab some cider, grab some donuts to bring back for the family, and also just like sit out on the benches on a nice warm sunny Saturday or Sunday morning and watch everybody and just take some pictures and have fun, especially once the leaves start changing. It's such a quick piece of autumn, and I like to be able to get outside and really enjoy that and embrace that as much as I can. I put a little bucket list together for myself, so these are just a few of the ideas that I have on my bucket list of things that I really want to do this fall. First is have a little fall movie night where we go to Trader Joe's and get all of the snacks that are pumpkin flavored or fall flavored anything, and bring them back home, get in our PJs or like comfy clothes, and then have a huge movie marathon where we eat all the food and snacks while we watch a bunch of movies. I personally think that'd be so fun, especially if you're watching all the fall movies while you do it. I just think that'd be such a cozy, fun night to spend with my sisters and friends. I also really want to go apple picking this year. I think that's just such a fun thing to do on a weekend. Go with your family, go with your friends, go to a little apple orchard, have a cute outfit on, get to take pictures, get to pick some apples. It's just such a fall thing, and you can only do it for a short amount of time. And then you know that you get to bring the apples back home and make baked goods or whatever desserts you want to make that are like seasonal ones, and they're gonna be so good because you literally handpicked the apples. I think that sounds so fun. Ride bikes or go on walks to look at fall foliage. I want to go to the pumpkin patch. I want to go to the movie theater and see some Halloween movies, whether that be like old ones. I know they have like showings of old Halloween movies. Whatever movie, I don't even care. I just want to have like a fall movie night going to see a movie at the theater. I want to have a practical magic night where I spend the day baking some stuff and then have friends come over and we have like midnight margaritas, because they make that in the movie, and make those while we're watching the movie and eat all the snacks and baked goods. I want to carve pumpkins and have a pumpkin carving night where we like watch a movie while we're doing that and have snacks. I really want to bake a bunch of seasonal baked goods because there's just so many different flavors to have fun with right now, with like apple, cinnamon, pumpkin, literally so many different fall flavors that you get to enjoy and get excited about. So I really want to get into baking. Those are just a couple of the items on my bucket list to give you a little bit of an idea of like what I'm going for this year, but it could literally be anything. The idea is really just to create a list of things that you can do, whether it be weekends or weeknights, that are going to get you excited for the fall. Another way to romanticize your fall for me personally is spending more time at libraries and coffee shops. I don't know why, but libraries and coffee shops are just so autumnal to me. They literally feel like the best place to be. I also just feel like they're a perfect, very practical place to go when you have like things to get done, but you don't want to be just cooped up in your room. If you have work to do or studying to get done, you want to romanticize that, so you have to find the best way to do that. So for example, if you have work to get done, wear your Elena Gilbert outfit and go grab a coffee and sit down at a coffee shop and get that work done. Or if you have studying to get done, instead of staying in your room, head to the library and get your work done from there. Because it's gonna feel like you're in a movie then, and you're gonna feel way more motivated to get that stuff done. Then when you're done studying at the library, you could go grab a book that you've been wanting to check out, bring it home with you, get all cozy in your PJs, in your cozy room, read it for a couple of hours. That's how I would romanticize my night. Another way to romanticize your life in the fall is to dress like you're in a movie. Especially with the change of seasons, it brings like a whole new wardrobe. I always like to think of how they dress in Pretty Little Liars. The reason that we all look at them and the way that they dress in that show is because they were literally just going to school, but they still were putting themselves together. And obviously, yes, it's a TV show, but you can do that in real life too. I think a really fun way to get excited about this for fall and like the change in clothing is to go on Pinterest and figure out like what you want your style to be, or find somebody on social media, decide the items that you really want to get, and then head to the thrift store and look for those items and look for like some fun new pieces. That way you're not spending a bunch of money on clothing and buying things that you don't really need, but you also have the ability to find something things that are different styles that you might not be able to find like at the actual store. I always feel so excited and accomplished when I find stuff, so I'm definitely going to be going thrifting, looking for some new sweaters and stuff this season, maybe even some jackets and vests. It really doesn't matter what the clothing is, it's really just about finding things that make you feel your best and excited to put them on in the morning. Embracing seasonal hobbies can also really help, so reading, knitting, or sewing, any kind of thing like that. Any kind of crafts. I always love doing like pottery kind of stuff in the fall. I don't know why, maybe it's just because I like using mugs and such. It feels like making them is something that I can actually use. It could be any little thing. Maybe you start making videos because you really enjoy those things. Anything that you can do inside, especially once it starts to get way colder. Any kind of crafts are always really great ones to do because you can do them with friends or by yourself. Obviously reading is a huge hobby for me that I love to do all the time, but especially in the fall when you can be really cozy and have an excuse for like why you're spending all day reading in your room. Also doing self-care in the fall is such a fun thing. Trying new workouts, whether that be going for runs or joining some kind of fitness class or a dance class, anything like that. Maybe you start learning how to do your hair and different hairstyles, like different kinds of braids. I've seen so many photos on Pinterest of hairstyles that I want to learn how to recreate. Fall for me is such an introspective season, so anything where I can do it by myself and kind of have time to like sort through my thoughts is a good hobby in my opinion. And then the last thing for me is like baking and seasonal cooking. I love to embrace that in the fall. Like I said, it's getting colder and the days are getting shorter, so you're spending more time inside. And in my house, one of my favorite places to be is in my kitchen. My kitchen and my bedroom are my two favorite places to hang out. I think it's so fun and cozy to bake seasonal things, breads, cinnamon rolls, cookies, soups, chilies. The list is literally endless, and you can make a whole experience out of it by going to the farmer's market and buying fresh produce and then bringing it home so you can make some different meals, especially when you embrace all the like seasonal produce, and you have to eat anyways, so you might as well make some good food. I think baking is very therapeutic. I love to turn on like a movie or television show and just spend some time like in the kitchen making cinnamon rolls or cookies or whatever it might be, muffins, and then when you're done baking you get to sit down and watch a little fall movie or television show and eat your creation, and I just think it's so fun. Like I said, it's really about the intentions of what you want and making the small things the big things. I said that in my last video for the summer, and I stand by saying that because that's what romanticizing is to me, at least. There is no single step to do this and then you're gonna enjoy your life so much more. Things that you might find monotonous, like the daily routine of just getting up and going to work or going to school, how can you make those things more beautiful and enjoy them more? At least that's what I hope to do this season. I hope to really enjoy the fall foliage. I hope to enjoy all the activities that I can still do outside and enjoy spending time with family and friends, going to the library on a Sunday morning and getting a book to read for the rest of the day, taking a bath and knowing that I have pumpkin flavored body wash that I'm gonna use, finding a new sweater at the thrift store and getting so excited because it's like the perfect one, spending a Saturday morning making everything bagels, or finding the perfect mug to put your coffee in, working on running a marathon, or getting your degree. It could literally be anything big or small. There's a way to romanticize it, embracing that this is a season of doing things that people don't really see, but you're putting in all of this effort so that in the spring those ideas and those things and those goals actually come to fruition. And there are going to be things that are not perfect, and there are going to be things that come up, but there's always a way to shift your mindset and look for the positive side of things instead of leaning towards negative. Anyways, I think that about covers everything. I talked for a while, so hopefully it does. But if you have any questions about like romanticizing your life or fall bucket list items or literally anything, feel free to DM me on Instagram or comment or anything. I love talking about this kind of stuff. It's something that I feel very passionate about, even though it seems kind of silly. I cannot wait to do all of the things that I mentioned on my bucket list and stuff this fall. I'm planning on making videos of everything and romanticizing the heck out of my life this fall. So hopefully that'll serve as a constant stream of some inspiration for you. Just remember, a season is just a season, and it is what you make of it. Sending all of the best thoughts and warm fall, cozy autumnal feelings your way. I hope it's a season of transformation and positive change for you. I hope that you spend weekends picking pumpkins and apples and cozy nights reading by candlelight. All of the best things. So anyways, love you. Bye.